you're an aspiring lawyer, this is a question you will have heard a lot. What kind of area of law do you want to practice in? Do you want to be a criminal lawyer? Do you want to be a civil lawyer? And if you want to be a civil lawyer, what kind do you want to be? Do you want to work in environmental law? Do you want to work in corporate law? Do you want to work in medical law? There are so many different options available to you. So how on earth do you choose? In this video, we're going to break down some key ideas of how you could go about choosing your ideal practice area. So let's get started. So let's start with a discussion of why your practice area matters so much. So your choice will essentially influence everything in your law career. So that will be your working hours, that will be your income potential, it might be your job fulfillment, and it might be your sort of long-term career satisfaction. So you need to make sure you're making the right choice. So let's say that you were a corporate lawyer working in mergers and acquisitions, you might thrive in high-pressure, fast-paced environments with long hours. But that's not for everybody. So a lawyer in environmental law might spend time advocating for policy changes or working with non-profit organisations, and that can be a very different legal landscape. So there are lots of different options to consider, and there's a wide range of legal careers out there. So the first step on this journey to choosing your practice area is probably going to be self-assessment. You need to know your strengths and your interests. So ask yourself, what are your core strengths? So are you analytical, maybe detail-oriented, maybe quite persuasive? What motivates you? So is that helping people directly, or is that solving complex problems, or is it things like making big deals happen? Do you want to be where the change is happening? And do you enjoy, for example, quite research-heavy work, or are you more into fast-paced negotiation? All of these different factors are going to influence your decision. One of our top tips for choosing a practice area and making sure that that choice is one that sticks is to explore different areas early on. So you might have an idea now of what you want to do and you might be quite set on that idea, but we really recommend taking a moment to step back and just explore at an early stage in your career. So there might be areas of law that you don't even know exist at this point, so make sure you're exploring. It's one thing to kind of think about a practice area, it's another thing to experience it. So the best way to figure out what suits you is to get out there and try things. So do internships, clerkships, or volunteer work. You could even spend a day shadowing a lawyer, and that can help you gain insight into what they actually do and what that looks like day to day. And don't be afraid to network. So reaching out to people in different practice areas can be a really fantastic way to get a practical understanding of what that practice area might be like, and it might also get you some experience. Another key factor in your decision should really be your lifestyle expectations. So it's no secret that law often comes with long hours, but certain practice areas have different amounts of hours that they consider to be long. If you're after quite high earnings and you don't mind long hours, one of the best things you could go into could be corporate law, it could be commercial litigation, or even banking law, and those might be right for you. But if you're more keen on flexibility and work-life balance, you might want to think about areas like employment law, or academia, or working in the public sector. Another thing that's often overlooked is the geography. So certain practice areas are stronger in specific cities or regions. Certain types of practice areas are better suited to, for example, towns, and some of them you'll see in big firms in cities. So it also depends what's right for you there. Another factor to consider could be market demand. So it's not just about passion, it also matters whether there is a demand for your services in the current market. So some legal fields are more competitive than others, and some may offer more job security than others. So some areas that might be fields like technology law, data privacy, or intellectual property are currently booming due to sort of rapid technological expansion, but there will be other areas of law that are also experiencing this kind of boom. So the best things you could do could be to check out job boards, read industry news reports, and stay on top of trends to see where demand is growing and try and align your interests with a strong market trend. Another factor that not many people actually think about is who you want to work for and who you want to work with. So do you want to represent large corporations, individuals, government bodies, or non-profit organisations? So for example, if you're passionate about supporting vulnerable individuals, you might gravitate towards family law, immigration, human rights, those kinds of areas. But if you're someone who's fascinated by big business, you might find that corporate law, commercial litigation, something like that might be more your style. And if you love creativity, then intellectual property law might allow you to work with artists, authors, and innovators, and that can be a really interesting practice area to work in. Our final tip is to pay attention to your law school experiences. So even if you have no experience in the practice area, you might find that there are certain areas of your law course that you enjoy more than others. Lean into that. Think about what it is about that area that you are enjoying, and think about how that might translate to a future practice area. Don't stress if you're not 100% sure on your practice area and you do all these steps and it doesn't quite give you any kind of indication of what you want to do. You will find your groove, and lots of people change what they want to do later on in life. Many lawyers gain a bit of experience in one area and then move areas, so it's not all set in stone. If you found this video helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.